Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Yellowhammer Outdoors. Today, we're going to be talking about the Meopta line of scopes. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the MeoPro Optika5. This model here on this Howa 1500 Mini is the 4x20 by 44. So, without further ado, let's dive into it and see some of the features on this scope. So guys, this scope here is a 4x20 and it has a 44 objective diameter. So this is not a combination that you see a whole lot. This is a 5x zoom going from 4 to 20, and you have a 1-inch tube here, but a 44 objective. So although it's a 1-inch tube, it does let a little more light in here. Your parallax is on the side here, and your parallax goes from 10 yards all the way to infinity. Before you get to infinity, your last parallax adjustment there is 500. It is very crisp, easy to turn, but still, you know, hard enough that you won't accidentally turn this. So let's put that back at 100. Your turrets here, these are capped turrets, but under the caps you do have hand adjustable turrets here, and they are adjustable back to 0. This particular model is MOA, and you have a 1/4-inch MOA adjustments. And what I think is really cool on this is that you have 25 MOA in one rotation, which is quite a lot. Your windage is the same, it is capped. You have the same amount of adjustments there on your windage. As you can see here, we have this on a Howa model 1500 Mini, and with medium rings on here, it is perfect. So let's get into some of the specs on this scope. It is a single focal plane scope. It does come with a BDC type of reticle. It also comes with a regular duplex reticle. If you're going to use the BDC, just to know that in order for that to be accurate, you need to be zoomed in all the way at 20. Your eye relief on this is about 3.62 inches, which is fairly generous and very comfortable with a regular 13.5-inch length of pole normal cheek rest. It makes this quite comfortable to see through. One of the things that really impresses me about this Meopta scope is the clarity of the lens. It is extremely clear. If I had a way to set up my camera to be able to look through this, I absolutely would. But I can tell you that I've looked through Zeiss Conquest, Vortex, high-end Vortex scopes, all of these scopes that use HD Japanese glass, and this to me is visibly clearer than a lot of the Japanese glass that you get on very high-end scopes nowadays, which prompted me to look up what kind of glass Meopta uses. And Meopta uses Scott glass, that is SCHOTT, I believe. And Meopta actually got their start making glass for other high-end scopes. Meopta was the glass provider for a lot of these high-end scopes, and then they decided to kind of do it themselves. And I can tell you the glass quality on this is superb. It is really great glass. The coatings that they use are phenomenal. Unfortunately, we can't really catch that the way I have this set up here, but the coating is really great on this. It's super clear. One of the things that I will often notice in certain scopes is that I do have a slight change of color. That change of color can be slightly blue, slightly purplish at times. With this, I really don't have any change in color whatsoever. It is just super clear, crisp color. So as far as price goes, this scope comes in at about $500 for the 4x20 model. Meopta also makes a 3x15 model, which is slightly cheaper, still within that $400 or so range. For that price, I definitely consider this a budget scope, and I would say that as far as a single focal plane scope goes, you cannot go wrong with this scope. This scope is absolutely amazing for what you pay. In the box. All right, guys. So now that we've looked at the specs on this scope, what are my final thoughts? Well, my first initial thoughts are that this is an excellent scope. The glass on this is phenomenal. I absolutely think it is worth the $449 MSRP. I think that, street price, you can find this a little cheaper than MSRP. If this is a scope that you're interested in, shop around a little bit. I think you can get it for around $400, with sales or other promotions going on. So be sure to shop around. The 4x20, I love that. A lot of scopes that start at the 4 zoom only go to 14 or 16 zoom. They're only 4 zoom scopes. This is a 5 zoom scope, so it goes all the way to 20, which I think is great. The 44 millimeter objective lens is great. It lets in a little more light despite having a 1-inch tube. I think this is a phenomenal scope for the price, and for a hunting scope, even for a medium to long range shooting scope, I think it is great. If you prefer second focal plane over first focal plane, this is definitely a scope that you want to consider. If you're looking for a scope within that $400 to $500 range, an excellent hunting scope with great clarity, this is definitely a scope you want to be looking at. It competes with scopes much more expensive than what they are charging. Definitely give Meopta a look. Now, in my next video, we're actually going to take this to the range. We're going to be shooting this 6.5 Grendel. We're going to be testing how this scope tracks. We're going to be testing the turrets. We're going to be testing the reticle that is in this and see how accurate it all is and how well it tracks. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for that next video, and we'll see how this does out on the range. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.